Hello, everyone. I think Blunt defines hermeneutics as interpreter having a culturally responsive engagement. He says about applying hermeneutics on page 18 of his article, just as interpreters are better positioned to engage meaning potential when they learn the access points of other interpreters. So learners are better positioned to operate more effectively in the classroom when they are taught to cross cultural borders and then engage meaning potential from those varying viewpoints. I think he emphasizes this kind of interpretation that involves putting oneself in the shoes of others. Ligor says that to interpret is to find meaning, and which is objectivity. So when he talks about the four traits of the paradigm for doing interpretation, he says these four traits taken together constitute the objectivity of the text. From this objectivity derives a possibility of explaining which is not derived in any way from another field, that of natural events, but which is congenial to this kind of objectivity on page 157. These authors agree on the possibility that a text can be interpreted differently by the interpreter than it was originally written. As Rigor says on page 149, the text frees its meaning from the tautology of the mental intention. It frees its reference from the limits of ostensive reference. And the difference between Ricoeur and Blunt is that Ricoeur approaches interpretation using more of the methods of the social sciences and focuses on discovering the objectivity of the discourse or texts, while Blunt focuses on considering the contexts of different cultures and time periods. Both authors recognize readers as agents who can discover new meaning from sources that are subject to interpretation. Blunt states they must also, the audience must also be accorded the safety to engage other selves, to trespass the borders of fellow students and instructor alike in the engagement of text meaning potential on page 18. Ricoeur notes human action opens up new references and receives fresh relevance from them. The human deeds are also waiting for fresh interpretations that decide their meaning. All significant events and deeds are in this way opened to this kind of practical interpretation through present praxis on page 155. I think Ricoeur's insistence on finding objectivity in the process of interpretation or discovering omnitemporal relevance challenges HQ. And I think the emphasis is different from HQ's approach, which moves flexibly between among the four sections and draws interpretations from those sections relationships. And the pop culture, both songs Take Me to the Alley by Gregory Porter and Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell seems to encourage me not to shy away from encountering others who are in a different world from my own. Porter's lyrics are like, come to my table, rest here in my garden, take me to the alley, take me to the afflicted ones, take me to the lonely ones. And Michel's lyrics also talk about the two sides of life, what is the real world and not just the ideal world. I think these lyrics are where this week's readings fit in. In this week's readings, I have been focusing on the fact that what I intended and what is interpreted can be different. I am a theologian who belongs to the Korean Protestant Church, which is a relatively conservative group within Korean society today. But I am primarily interested in scholarly work that explores arguments that differ from those held by this church group. For example, for my doctoral thesis, I would like to study Korean Christian artworks in order to unpack their ethnocentric meanings and find out the frames that were put on female Christians at that time. I would like to investigate not only the original intentions of the artists of the artworks in the past, but also recognize that I, as a viewer of the artworks today, may interpret them differently from their intentions of the artists.